Hey, Kushti.
My pleasure to be here again. How's it going?
It's going well. You look really well rested, Kushti. You getting some good sleep?
Today, yeah, a lot of, but yeah, after a few nights of not so good sleep. All right, and yeah, today, pretty enough.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, let's observe what's happening around in the Ergo ecosystem, and it's happening a lot. And yeah, I'm not quite following even a lot of things. So it seems some new meme coins launched. Yeah, one just today, and already yeah, I saw links to some new DEX UI, Kooks DEX with that's meme coin trading and so on. So yeah, what's going on? Well, what the hell is going on?
I think maybe the AMA with Slum Doge, maybe sparked some gas in some people, and some other avenues of bringing eyes onto Ergo. So they're taking that in full stride, and they're making. I think Greasy Sex is coming out with a new project that I think they're dropping through Kooks Finance as well. They're utilizing Kooks Finance for that. It's some sort of hot dog in a bun. I don't know what the significance of a hot dog in a bun is, but maybe Greasy Sex can tell us more about that. But that's a funny one that's coming out too. I like Greasy Sex. They're always good at. Austin's really good at doing like something fun and something not only fun but something like that does something too, like raise money for Bitpanda or Mexc or Zegax or those kind of things. So those are always fun to watch. It's always dangerous for my wallet. I need to make a fun and games only wallet and give it an allowance every month. Otherwise, it gets a little too dangerous, Kushti.
All right. And then, yeah, on the serious side of things, yeah, it seems a lot of news around Rosen. Yeah. So, do you know, well, all the details?
Yeah, so we just we're finalizing up the cold wallets. As some of you may know, there were some the cold wallets weren't fully formed yet for the guard side for Cardano and Ergo. So we're working on building the Cardano cold wallet side. I just did the roundtable this morning for that. Ergo side as well should be easy to build because we're using Minotaur. By the way, just a plug for Minotaur version 2, release candidate 1. It is a gorgeous tool. Have you used it, Kushti?
Which tool, sorry?
Minotaur version 2, release candidate 1.
Yeah, so yeah, I believe yeah, RC2, yeah, I've used as well.
Yeah,
and yes, some earlier versions, but yeah, this one is much more stable.
Yeah, much more stable. Saves your transactions and all that good kind of stuff automatically. So they're working on that. There's going to be a big deal coming up where we are essentially going to spin down the network for a brief amount of time so that guards can do an update. And then a certain number of guards have to be back online before it can be processing again. But this is a big update that actually allows unlimited amount of watchers to come onto the system, which is a super interesting game, Kushti, because right now, you have a rush to be a watcher because you have a limit of 77. So there's a big rush to do it and keep it. And now opening it up, it's going to be interesting to see the price leveling going between, how much it is to be a watcher, plus the benefit you get from being a watcher and returns, and how that's going to balance up. It's going to be super interesting to see the math there, to see where that number changes. And it could be different. It's going to be different on each chain too, depending on where the traffic is coming and going from.
All right. Yeah, so quite different equilibrium, right, economically.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, and then for DEX, so public testing is going on, and yeah, at the same time, well, some GORT emission is now going to developers, right? So just for the first night. Yeah, well, experimental Oracle Core build of mine is collecting, and I've stopped for time to test withdrawals, and we'll continue. But yeah, that means kind of halvening, right, for the GORT. And then, yeah, also there are a lot of discussions about Sigma USD bank, right? And yeah.
Well, can you explain your proposal there to limit the withdrawal or the minting by, what is it, 7% or something like that, or 1.5?
Yeah, half a percent per Oracle epoch. But then, yeah, a lot of discussions, so a lot of alternative proposals, and yeah, whether to update at all or, well, preserve the contract and burn the update keys. And yeah, for update keys, yeah, there is question of distribution. So a lot of talks. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, well,
are the keys for Sigma USD in active members' hands right now, or are you on a threshold where you only have a certain number of keys with active people, so you can make this change now, kind of thing? What's the level of keys being held by active Ergo users?
Oh, so it seems, well, update keys for the bank are not distributive, and so now they're possessed by dark sides of Brr, so the guy who did the contract deployment. Yeah, so and yeah, well, for Oracle pool, some keys are still in the Amitabh's wallets, but yeah, I have a private key. He sent me a few months before his death, and yeah, so I need to extract Oracle pool keys, and yeah, well, for dark side, so yeah, he can send to me, but yeah, I need to distribute, so well, he if not been distributed, then it makes sense to just burn the keys, right, and forget about updates. So yeah, well, a lot of talks about all those outcomes. Let's see how it goes. Then what else? So yeah, in regards with DEX and Gleon, so for Gleon, there is private testing going on, and well, the guys are fixing issues and so on. So public testing will be started soon, hopefully. And well, I'm thinking to organize another community chat like we already had with Bruno and me, and well, the community members interested in this topic, and then probably to have another community chat on well, all the scalability options and well, other things, so like sublocks, layer 2 solutions, side chains, and so on. So yeah, well, seems still that there is no clear demand, right, for layer 2 things, but yeah, well, better to start planning maybe something anyway.
What do you think of Joe's proposal for a Sigma chain, side chain, that opens up mining to other possibilities?
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about as well, and discussing with Joe, right? So we can have a plethora of different side chains, right, to well, test different things there, or just to well, grab computational power from different fields, and well, reuse Ergo DeFi there, right? So to have, for example, side chains not merged mined, but mined with well, popular ASICs, right? So CPUs, and then yeah, maybe also try some things there on contractual layer, but also to reuse all the DeFi and have contracts deployed since day one, right? Means yeah, a bit different, but still kind of digital gold created with different kind of computational power, right? Different mining industry, well, often already established. As we have with ASICs and CPUs also, so it's a pretty well-established field of CPU mining, I believe.
And I think Joe also mentioned like other uses as well, to perhaps make some sort of sidechain that's quantum resistant as well as a safety net, essentially, at some point. No, did he mention that at all?
Yeah, so different things can be tried, such as, I don't know, quantum resistance, right, sharding and so on. And so, with sidechain kind of trustless two-way pegging, right, so with trust reduced only to consensus security of sidechain. So yeah, that also means possibility to have more liquidity flows, right? Into the Ergo blockchain and out. And yeah, so for quantum resistance, so it could be kind of Exodus option, right, for possibility of quantum computers. So it's still not clear whether they will impose any threat.
Yeah.
To elliptic curve cryptography, in observable future or even in a larger time frame, but still, yeah, we may consider such a Exodus option.
What else are you building? Anything else going on?
Let me think. So yeah, there was good developers charts yesterday, as usually. What's there? Yeah, let me think.
I'll jump on while you think. So let me give an update on at least the SIGs mining initiative. So we previously the miner was hosted at my house, the mining core. So we've moved it to a cloud-based server, a pretty darn fast one that I've used before for my bots. So right now it's sitting there. We're talking about we've reached the subject of getting keys to more than one person, so that I'm not the only one with the keys to the mining core server. So the idea is to spread those keys out at least to a couple trusted members, so that if anything catastrophic happens or anything else as far as that goes, then at least people have access to the root of that. So right now we have a user named Mark with a C, who is really kicking ass in making a dashboard for us. He's made it so that it's in a Docker, so you can spin it up on your own machine, and it points to the database and extracts all the data to give you a dashboard of all your mining stats. And he's also hosting it right now as well. So we're going to host it as well for people who don't want to spin it up, kind of like a mixer, but not a mixer, where you can run on your own machine. But unlike the mixer, we can also host this as well. So we're working on that and finalizing that. He's got a roadmap already set for things like notifications, token notifications, things like that, token prices on the dash as well, depending on what we choose to whitelist based on what we're picking up from storage rent in the future. So that's really cool. We're really excited about that. It's been a couple days since we've switched. We're at about 13 gigahash right now, in between 11 and 13 gigahash, which isn't bad. We should find a block within a day and a half or two of firing it up. So we should be finding a block any second. Knock on wood, I hope. Sometimes it's a watch pot never boils, huh? So that's the SIGs mining pool. Super excited about that. The server, I feel confident, is backed up and taking snapshots. So once we get TLS enabled for that extra layer of security, we're going to start trying to pull in a few more people to get that hash up and to see how it goes. And then hopefully Cheese, I think he said he was running some things on testnet or mainnet, and he should be ready soon to try out storage rent. So that's super exciting, and it's really exciting to see people jump in the SIGs mining channel and really grab by the horns. So that's fun. I've been running along with CW. We've been running for the SIGs market making channel. We've been running 3Comms bots. For those of you that aren't familiar, 3Comms is a website that essentially just lets you connect to different exchanges where you can not necessarily market make, but you can make grid bots. So we've been experimenting with that. I messed up the first week. Not messed up, but I set a default bot and tweaked the parameters, and apparently it was targeting to increase my quote token, my quote currency, which was USDT. So it was just slowly selling Erg off during the pump, which I didn't want. So CDB and I both redid our bots last night to change it to the base currency reward. So that means no matter where it's going, the price, it's going to try to reward us and keep a higher balance of ergs as opposed to just selling them off. So I'm going to run that for another week, and we'll see how much market making it does. Even, with the other bot, I was doing about, I think it was $13,000 a week for market making, and I didn't lose very much, but the opportunity cost was lost a little bit there. So the main idea here is to say, to keep as many ergs as we can for people to be enticed to use the service, and then show them that you can maybe earn a little bit, and we're doing some volume for Ergo on, at least Gate is the one we're testing it on. So that's how that's going. It's ongoing, and it's fun. It's definitely fun, easy to use. So if anybody has any want to poke around or do something like that, hop on 3Coms. It's like not daunting at all. You click grid bot, you click start, you choose a strategy, and you're done. It really couldn't be easier. I just got an alert from Gate that a trade went through. So yeah, every few minutes it's doing that trading and balancing and that kind of thing automatically from you. So that's fun. I believe Cannon's proposal for market making has passed on Padilla. That means that there's a few more tweaks that he needs to do with it before presenting the proposal to the EF for taking over and utilizing that loan and that liquidity there. So we'll have more about that, hopefully talk about it in the Sunday SIGs meeting, and go from there. But that's really exciting too. It's really, really nice to see the SIGs kind of picking up steam here and getting more autonomous, getting more people involved, and then having them fragment off on their own and doing the things that they like that are benefiting the ecosystem. It makes me very happy. Very, very happy. I think that's all I got, Kushti. Did you think of anything when I was talking?
Yeah, so I thought about Paideia mostly.
Right.
Yeah, what's going on? So there was some little update on Paideia. So yeah, it seems it's in the process of testing, fixing, something like that, right?
Yeah, so Padilla, and I also, on top of that, Louis has promised, and he did. He said he made the DAO. He was just missing a token. For some reason, the token that I sent him didn't go through. So I resent him the Good Things DAO token. So we'll have another test bed for more public users for the Good Things DAO. So essentially, anybody who donated to Kushti's 2 auctions for the Kenya Cooperative will be getting a Good Things DAO token. The token itself, I've put into the description how to stake on Padilla and how to initiate. So just read the token description. And then from there, we can start talking about how to work with the funds that are part of this DAO, and who to distribute them to, and that kind of thing. And we can even bring in the people from like the Kenya Cooperative mission also into the DAO, so they can help relay who needs what, and we can vote on those kind of things and go forward. So from there, so that's super exciting. That kind of stuff is always fun to do and fun to help people out.
All right, and yeah, so I'm thinking about another fundraising to be started soon, because yeah, well. Now, well, there are no active raffles right after Mexc 1, so well, time to start something.
Good point. I can't see the chat. We have any questions, Kushti?
Yeah. Oh, you don't see questions?
Nope, not in my car here.
1 second. Let me open them.
I like that you have the blue and white headphones back, Kushti. Those are classic. It's nice to see them.
All right, yeah, they're back. 1 second, live. Oh yeah, one second. I need
headphones back, Kushti. Those are classic.
I need just to mute the tab. All right. So, yeah, actually, a lot of questions. Yeah, questions and comments. From Austin Milbert. It's a greasy little glizzy. What's not to love?
He's talking about his little hot dog wiener in a bun.
Any news about good things DAO? Well, just cover it. So yeah, it's in the process of being set up.
As soon as Louis gets to it, yeah, he's halfway there, guys. That's saying a lot. He's got the DAO made. He's just got to link it to the token, and then we're good.
For both Alex QX, what's your #1 goal for Ergo platform in next 3 months and next 9 months, end of year? Not personal projects, DEXi or Sig mining pool.
Who asked that? Wombo?
Oh, Canon Q. None else then.
You want to go first?
#1 goal. So yeah, well, I'm currently in a lot of discussions with setting up Ergo Devs DAO on the way. The idea is to kind of predict, right, what's the most realistic path for future, right, of the protocol, if we are going to develop it in a non-breaking way, right, and leave main things as is. If we are not going to break anything, right, then yeah, what's really needed? Side chains, right? Other things, and how to achieve them. So I'm currently checking a lot of stuff and discussing a lot of things. So just after this call, I will have a chat with Spectrum team, and chatting with a lot of devs. So for Ethereum, what was predicted 5 or 6 years ago, 7 probably, back in Plasma and State Channel days, current landscape is turned out to be totally different. So it's about rollups, but hard to say if the best path was chosen. So for starters, maybe side chains, right? Well, it's the best way to start experimentation, and then it can be continued with other non-breaking ways to improve things like rollups, validiums. But I believe that there should be a guide for things like rollups, validium. So there should be a busier layer 2, and we are not there. Yeah, well, also a few days ago recorded another chain cache video now for general public. So waiting for it to be appeared on the YouTube, and we'll spread it to some Rust developers I know. But it's mostly personal project, right? And, at this point, I can't do much maybe because I'm not proficient in Rust and don't have much time. So currently, aside of kind of personal projects, I'm mostly focused on planning non-breaking development of the protocol. So what's needed? For side chains, Sigma chains, right? And slowly but surely, also making sub-blocks AP and so on. Yeah. So kind of research phase again, just like the mainnet launch, but now on the different level. All right, so Now about you, QX. Oh, so we lost QX. Found
I'm
again.
back. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So yeah. Now it's your turn, basically.
Can you hear me, Kushti?
Yep. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm glad I do. I'm glad I glitched out during that time. I got to put it close to my face because my phone was on the dashboard and got overheated. Go figure. All right. So what am I looking for the next 9 months or 12 months that aren't a personal project? I'd hesitate to say that. I wouldn't be hesitant to say I don't think Sig's mining or Sig's market making is a personal project. I think that's, but I already spoke about that. I would say my main focus right now is adoption. So it was very neat to see when Slumdog was on the dev update, what happened after that. So I'm sitting there thinking last night while I'm working on trying to figure out if there was something wrong with the mining pool, and that's why we're not finding blocks or not. So I was sitting there looking through the database and the code, trying to make sure to reassure myself that, yeah, we're just unlucky right now. We're not finding a block in 2 days. And I thought to myself, there's so much going on right now in the Ergo ecosystem as far as outreach and kind of building on the community side than there was 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if that's attributed to people thinking, holy shit, here is some guy telling us that memes are important to bring these people in, and price can be important as well in that aspect of it. So I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, let's take another chain. They have whole teams that sit and think about this stuff, and they think, how can we engage the community? How can we bring this kind of stuff in? And it's their job, and it's a lot of work. And I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, this is a lot of work to be able to sustain this. But then that's what it is. So my goal is to keep trying to facilitate that. Keep trying to facilitate, maybe guests coming in that charge up the base and get, things going and excited and recognition of those kind of things. Keep getting more eyes on it just from pulling more people in. I know I'm kind of stretching the meaning of or the intent of the dev update, but I'm going to continue to do so until somebody yells at me or people stop watching it. The idea is that I'd like to bring in guests from other sides of other chains, especially ones that Rosen's going to. So right now I'm trying to find some people in Ethereum that we can bring over, although I've spoken with Ethereum people before. It's sometimes very difficult. But the idea is to bring those people in, and not only are we talking to them about what they think Ergo could benefit from their experience, but we're also injecting Ergo into them a little bit. We're also telling them about Ergo, and then they're bringing back Ergo to their place, and their people are watching Ergo. So it's a kind of a multifaceted technique or tactic there. So in general, in the next year, I hope to keep up this adoption kind of focus, where we're so focused on reaching out of the echo chamber of Ergo, getting new people in, getting new people to hear about Ergo, and just branch off from there. And it's a lot of work for you guys. I'm sitting there. So last night, my original point was I'm sitting there thinking of all this work, like Kooks Finance is coming up. Austin with his hot dog. We have Cyberverse completely kicking ass, is starting. We have all these projects that are really I can hear you, Andy. Can you hear me? Oh, yep. So, okay, I'm good. I think you can hear me. So the idea is that, yeah, it's a ton of work. And I think last night what I was trying to say is that I had the realization that, holy shit, we're going to have to try to sustain this. We're going to have to try to continue to sustain these projects. We're going to have to continue to try to sustain this outreach. We're going to have to continue to try to bring more people in. We're going to have to continue to keep doing projects like Greasy Sex, or continue to building updates like Cyberverse, or continue to building projects like Kushti, and that team has always been doing the dev side. So my general posture for that is the community as the dev side has for all these years. So once we start doing that, similar to how we've done it this week, and we sustain that and we keep increasing it, more people will come, more people will start to take on that burden or that workload, and that'll lessen there, but that'll increase from there, and it'll just keep on compounding and compounding and compounding. And you saw this week, we had an influencer. I don't know if it was a result of, and I'm not Ergo Foundation, so fuck it, I'll say it. We had an influencer mention us early this week, Mason, I believe. We had a big update coming out for Rosen Bridge. Rosen Bridge, it had a price appreciation of 20% in 24 hours. Greasy Sex had a price appreciation of 85% in 24 hours. Ergo had its 12% price appreciation. This stuff makes a difference, guys. And as we know, and as we've heard, price appreciation helps for eyes on the project. If you come to an anthill, all right, and you're looking down and you see from the top, oh, there's a little anthill with, sand around the top. Maybe there's an ant coming in and out once in a while. I wonder what's going on there. Probably not much. But if you go to an anthill and you see 1,000 ants coming in and out of the damn thing, they're bringing leaves in, they're bringing, eggs in and out and moving around. And there's a little section of the anthole you can see in, you can see the intricacies of the entire tunnel. Now you're interested to see what's underneath the surface there and what's going on there. So that's exactly what I think we've been doing these past couple of weeks. Is we're starting to get really busy on the community side. We're starting to, starting to try to put in as much effort as the devs have put in for the past several years. So I think that's a missing factor there that I'm going to focus on for the next year, and we'll build from there. Hopefully you heard all of that and I didn't cut out too much. You got another question, Kushti?
Sorry, I was mute. So a lot of questions actually. So next one to me from Austin Milberg. Kushti, can you explain the update to CQSD protocol to protect against exploiters, and when that's what will take place? So not sure about voting. So the problem is to distribute the keys and then to consider some voting procedure. Right, then do testnet update and then mainnet, because it's about quite costly protocol. And I also think at some point update keys should be bought, but maybe not after the first update. But that's again to be discussed with the holders. And the update sketch I've proposed. So it's just a version of Jet which is already deployed somewhere. There are a lot of Jet versions. So this one is having minting limits for both USD and reserve coins. And the limit is about 0.5% per Oracle update. So per Oracle epoch, so this is about 15 minutes, like that. QX. QX, you said Rosen will be turned off and turned back on again to do updates. What would happen to breached funds if it's never turned back on again? Can you turn it back on?
Well, so you got to think of Rosen not as something that you turn off and on. You're still transacting on chain, so people who start a transaction during it, all they're doing is dumping their funds into a contract, okay, a multi-sig. And all the watchers are doing is looking for that and reporting on Ergo chain, and then the guards look for that and then do the action. So if in between this brief, upgrade that's going to happen, somebody deposits into the smart contract, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be there when the guards spin back up and go. There's no network that's being shut down as far as that goes. I don't know. I imagine the team might pause the front end service, at least the web portal, while that happens. Maybe they won't, because honestly, it doesn't matter. You can still deposit into the multi-sig and it'll wait until the watchers are back up and the guards are back up and they do their thing. So that's the beauty of Rosen as far as that goes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, was mute again. So next question is from Augustus Kent. Can we get more episodes of Hash It Out, please? Miss W and company truth. No, no, none less than truth bombs. You got that. But yeah, well,
So
I've got the point.
To CW yesterday about that. I was talking to CW about that yesterday. I said, since Austin and I might take a little break from Austin's focusing on Greasy, so might take a break from Ergo for Dummies. I said, CW, we gotta get you behind the camera and start to hash it out again. So I've been putting it in his ear. We'll see how far we get with that though. We'll see. CW's put a lot of time in behind the camera. And he's only had about 6 months off. You might need a little bit more time to refresh. That's all.
All right. So Hash It Out was also about Noah and Joe. And yeah, so Noah, it seems, is a bit frustrated now, with endless discussions about price and so on. So he reduced participation in discussions. Yeah, maybe he's in a good mood for Hash It Out, for dropping truth bombs. Let's see. So yeah, I need to ask Joe also about that. Next question is from Fleth. Yeah, something like that. How do you feel about the Mexc listing? So QX, can you start on that?
Well, I think a listing is exposure, a listing is access. Actually, we just have a new Sigmanaut, a SigCan, in chat this week, and that person's name is Cotilier. And his first thing when he came in was, let's promote Mexc. And he's right. So we really need to work on pushing it from the main Ergonauts platform site, the Sigmanauts platform. Perhaps do some other promotions, maybe awards or things like that. I believe Comet was pushing out awards for the raffle for that. So yeah, that is the next big thing. We really need to utilize the fact that the community came together and paid $50,000. So we really need to promote the shit out of that. So yeah, I think that's a good thing for promotion as far as that goes. It's a central exchange. I was on central exchange, make me nervous regardless. I'm on Gate, all right, last night with my bot, and they wanted me to add my dual factor before I could withdraw. Of course, they let me deposit without dual factor, of course, but I had to add it before I withdrew. So I added my dual factor code, and then went to withdraw some, and it said, "Oh, some settings on your account have changed. You need to wait 24 hours." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, of course. So central exchanges always make me nervous, but yeah, they're a necessary evil, at least in this point in time. Might not be in the future once Rosen becomes full swing and things like Rosen pop up. But yeah, so in short, yeah, community spent 50 grand. We need to promote the shit out of it and get it out on the airwaves.
Yeah, so sorry, it was a flat head, not flat set. All right, and yeah, so listings are good, but yeah, the main good thing, for centralized exchanges is liquidity. I personally will try. So I don't have account there yet, but yeah, well, if it's possible, I will put some liquidity around the listing, just pure market making. So I guess it's possible to do with Hummingbot, right?
I think they said they had Mexc.
Run
Three
pure
Three
market.
Commons doesn't have Mexc, but yeah.
Yeah, so well, if it's possible with Hummingbots, yeah, then yeah, well, it's working like that, right? So well, there is liquidity, then there is trading, right, and then well, there is exposure, right, coming from trading. Especially during big price swings, so when exchange is highlighting some pair, right? So people are coming and starting to investigate, right? And during price spikes, yeah, from my experience, usually a lot of newcomers come into Telegram groups and so on. Yeah, in increased traffic of the website and so on.
Kushti, I have a few more minutes. You wanna ask some questions that are dual questions, and then you can finish up the AMA. I have to head into my doctor's appointment again.
All right. So yeah, let me check questions specific for you then. Yeah, because a lot of questions. Oh, another question from Austin. If it's not too much, so yeah, well, you can answer this question and leave then. QX, when Sig mining pool that's rewards HODL ERG3 rewards. Reward with probably, right? Do you know what is it about?
Yeah, well, that's next. I think there was talk at some point of after storage rent was implemented, we would start working on something like subpools, so that we could start. You know how GitBlock used to work in the past. So potentially that was part of the thing. But also, I didn't think Austin. Well, he's mentioning it, so I'm gonna spill the beans at least. Austin was very interested in creating a mission that involved rewards, essentially a cross reward with Greasy Sex. So essentially, you do the same kind of donation for things, or you play the game for Greasy Sex by utilizing HODL, HODL Ergo, HODL comment, whatever it is, and then some of that gets force burned or pushed back through rewards in the mining pool, kind of thing, with some burning mechanisms in there. It's quite complicated, and I was probably tired when he explained it to me, but we'll see. I think he's hinting at what this next mission might be. So stay tuned for the details of the white paper for Austin's next mission, or the mission after that. I'm not sure if it's this one, but the idea is that yes, we want to group up with Greasy to utilize some of that greasy grease to try to get miners incentives and rewards for miners as well from playing the game. You're muted, Kushti.
Yeah, sorry, I mute again. So you have to run now?
Yeah, I gotta go. You good taking the rest of it, Kushti?
Yeah, I will take like 2 or 3 more questions, and yeah.
All right.
And yeah, so have a good day.
Thanks so much, Kushti. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you for your attendance. All right, so what's there? Questions. Kushti, one question. May I create an NFT series and name it Kushti Spends? 2/3 of possible gains will come into Ergo system, maybe via Greasy Sex support. Yeah, sure. I mean, no one is preventing from doing that. And well, I believe there were some NFTs and some raffle about that. So there was some raffle for collecting funds to buy new pens, but yeah, failed. If my memory served me well. So yeah, please feel free to do well, anything. What can you stop? What can stop you here? Well, sorry. Let me check questions again. So what's missed? A lot of messages today. What do you think about quantum computing and making Ergo algorithm future-proof? Yeah, even guys working in the field, well, given totally different predictions. So back in 2008, I witnessed some well, guys working in quantum computing, claiming that yeah, in like 5 years it will be possible to break RSA and elliptic curve cryptography. Well, the curves we have now, like one used in Bitcoin and Ergo, SEC 256K1. Right, so it seems still we are not there, and well, there are some pessimistic predictions, even claiming that it's won't be possible to break cryptography because, well, there are some limits, physical limits for building computers with number of qubits needed. So yeah, well, when people are working in the field giving so different predictions, then what can you do about that? So in regards with Ergo and actually Bitcoin, so well, the problematics is the same. So proof of work is secure against quantum computers with big numbers of qubits, right? The problem is that digital signatures would be broken because, well, there are known algorithms for finding discrete logarithm on elliptic curves. And so quantum computers will break it. But yeah, well, most of traditional finance would be broken also because, yeah, well, it's about RSA even mostly, and this is the first candidate for cryptography to be broken. And yeah, so well, I'm checking post-quantum cryptography from time to time. The only issue there is that yeah, so most of schemes proposed back in like 10 years ago, so they were broken after some time. Like most of lattice-based crypto schemes. So hash-based cryptography is okay, but well, it's totally inefficient, especially in the blockchain setting. And then, yeah, well, in regards with what we do have in Ergo, so Sigma protocols, so well, they would be broken also. Right, and for Sigma protocol, so there are some post-quantum candidates based on lattices, but yeah, probably it's not practical to use them, and it's not standard crypto and could be broken also. Maybe, but I'm not a big specialist in lattice-based crypto. So something like that. Post-quantum cryptography is not efficient at all still, and yeah, well, it's also non-standardized. So it's hard to think about using it even. All right. So the same question about quantum computing and Autolycos. So yeah, the second version of Autolycos is secure against quantum computers because well, still the underlying problem is hard for them. Well, for parameters we do have there, so okay, some problem is still hard. All right, maybe a last question today. Any news on machine of finance? So yeah, need to check with developers. Yeah, so yeah, let me answer two questions at the same time and yeah, finish with it. So thought of increasing block times, is it possible? Probably decreasing, not increasing, I guess. And can you explain about subblocks and how it helps in the long term? All right, so yeah, for decreasing block times, it's would break a lot actually, because well, there are a lot of contracts relying on block height, and they would be broken, starting with emission contracts. So well, emission in Ergo is done via contracts, and yeah, well, the contract is basically releasing some number of ergs according to schedule, well, block height, block number, base schedule, and well, it's releasing according to this schedule on every block to a minor public key. So yeah, well, it's not quite possible then. Probably because yeah, it's hard to find a non-breaking path for doing that. Even if we are considering that hard fork is okay, and this already a very controversial statement, but then yeah, well, a lot of things to be checked around, and not quite clear how to fix them. Then yeah, well, subblocks is well, non-breaking concepts of blocks with lower difficulty, basically, which can be used for propagation in the network. Right in the first place, for increasing throughput in the peer-to-peer network. But then, yeah, so they would be useful for sidechains. So, well, merged mine sidechains. Well, including already existing not quite sidechains, but merged mined Bitcoin-based blockchains, like well, starting from Namecoin and so on. So there are all using lower difficulty, right? And so, well, we can do the same now for side chains. But then, if via sidechains miners will be incentivized to work on longest subblocks chain, then subblocks can be used for weak confirmation protocols. So basically for faster confirmations. So yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, questions are arriving, but yeah, let me finish with that. Yeah, one more probably, not a question, but yeah, advertisements. Kushti, did you check Kooks DEX? It's meme coin only DEX in Ergo. Don't hate me, QX. So QX is out, and I will check. Haven't checked Kooks DEX yet, but yeah, sounds funny. Meme coin only DEX. Interesting. All right. And so let me finish with that, and see you. Not sure about next week, but I will appear at some dev update, and will appear on some MAs to come. So see you, and another chain cache video is coming now for general public. With this video, I'm going to reach some developers around and to find more contributors to chain cache. And after that, I will do probably a new video. Let's see, maybe on side chains this time. So that's all. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your attention. Bye. Have a good day.